On today's episode, we welcome Marcelo Diaz, co-founder of REM AI Consulting. Marcelo, welcome.
Hi, thank you, Maxime. Thank you for having me here and for hosting today's podcast. It'll be fun.
No worries. So let me talk to me about how you guys started that business and a bit of your background into it.
Sure. So I studied political science, and my passion for integrating artificial intelligence became where I didn't quite get an internship. I applied to over like 100 different companies for like from let's say November of 23 all the way to May 24. I didn't get anything, nothing at all. And by this time, I'm using ChatGPT all the time. And I'm saying to myself like, hey, like if I'm using it all the time, like so are other people. Why not create something for people with an artificial intelligence? And that's basically where the seed was planted and started growing from there.
And did you saw something on YouTube like it? Because I know for myself, I did look into like AI automatizations, and I stumbled on like some big names that actually were just showing it for free how to actually do all of it. So how did you find like automatizations and stuff like that on your part?
Yeah, so obviously a lot of like social media influenced and had a role, but at that same time I was also in LinkedIn 24/7, just trying to connect with people, trying to see if they would give me a shot and prove myself to them. And in that time I started like connecting with people and started seeing like this niche groups of AI. I started getting into them. I started connecting with people inside those, and those were the people that really started guiding me through the whole AI process. I connected with a couple, had the opportunity to talk with a couple, and they were telling me like, this is what we're doing, this is what we're offering to clients. And I said like, okay, like if I'm not gonna work for someone, I'm just gonna do it for myself. I'm gonna work for myself, and that's how I started. Uh,
Started that business. So what made you go into business? Are you just do you have family in business, or how did you get that mindset?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I think all my life I've been quite an entrepreneur. Like since I was a small kid, for example, I remember I think my first venture was in eighth grade, where like you would have lunch with all the kids and everything. But after lunch, like I would pull out a pack of gum. I would have my piece of gum, and everybody would be, hey, can I have a piece of gum? Can I have it? Like it would be like vultures and on top of me. So I'd start like, hey, why not buy a couple more packs and just sell them for a couple of bucks. And that's how I started my first venture. And then from there, I really started like I had a passion for this. I really have a passion for owning something and being like the vision behind it. And that's really what motivated me. I think it was a sign of the universe telling me like you're not gonna get a job here because you're meant to do something otherwise, which is REM. And it really like opened my eyes. It was hard at first, obviously, but like anything in life, really. But once I started working it, it really started like the path started becoming easier in its own sort of shape and form. Yeah,
And you're the co-founder in the business. Did you guys start as two guys, or did you start like three, four? How many people were you in the business at first?
yeah, yeah. So at first, it began only myself, but obviously I needed someone to help me scale the company. I needed someone that understood the technical side really well, that could allow me to focus on getting sales. Because at first you need to get traction, right? And getting traction meant going outside in the cold. I previously mentioned to you, like we're located in Latin America. That's my target market. That's my home, and it's honestly a pleasure to represent Honduras in this podcast. But before getting there, I had this co-founder, and we said like, okay, we're in Montreal. Let's go look for clients in Montreal. You know the weather in Montreal. It gets right now it's minus 14. So the last couple winters, I would go outside at minus 14, like shivering, like like this, knocking door to door, like, hey, this is what we're doing. I would like to offer you my service. I give you like a demo, and I honestly sat down with a couple of like industry leaders. I'll mention some, like, I went to India Rosa, I remember, and I sat down with the owners of India Rosa, which is a fantastic restaurant here in Montreal. And the same with Jérôme Ferrer in Europea, which is again a fantastic restaurant here in Montreal. Those guys really gave me a shot here and started like I then started familiarizing myself with how the market But besides that, I got rejected countless times, hundreds of times, which out of frustration then made me say to myself, like, you know what? I'm from Honduras. Honduras is my country. Honduras is my passion. Let's go to Honduras. And that's where we're at right now.
That's nice. So I think you mentioned to me on the call before this that you guys were 8 in the business now. So
Yeah.
it is your role in the business just the vision or decision making, or are you still the IT guy doing all the system? What's your role in that business of 8 people?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I do consider myself like the visionary behind everything. I like to think about it like that way. I am involved in decision makings from marketing to technology, from to sales to really any part of the business. I do have really reliable people from marketing, from sales, from IT that I really rely on 100%. And the thing that really allows me to focus on scaling and looking into other things like, okay, let's raise our first pre-seed, let's raise this rounds, is that they are problem solvers, they are critical thinkers, and that really allows me that liberty. Otherwise, I would have to be on top of every client. I would have to be on top of sales and marketing, um, so which I'm not these days as much. Don't think that I am like I just have free time, right? But I am looking at everything. I told you I was in the meeting just previously for marketing. But I really have reliable people that allow me to have the freedom and just focus on how can we scale our branding and a company as a whole and become that strategic leader of AI for the whole Latin America.
Hmm. And that's good that you had those people because a lot of people like myself, I jump into a hole where you just practice what you want to sell and you never actually do the marketing. You never actually talk to people. You're just like, I'm practicing, I'm doing all those systems, and then it's like, okay, now I build it. Who wants it, and how do I get to those people? So it's like you always have to think about the sales, the marketing, and then it's like you realize it when you add that product and you're so excited to like deliver it, and then it's like, oh, there's no one that wants it. It's like
Yeah.
and then I did that backward. So it's good that you had like people that actually like angles you and bring you in the proper directions. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I like that you mentioned like that. There's I think it's just human nature, right? That we usually tend to like practice or rehearse a lot of things. We want to make like just now, like we want to make the perfect marketing videos, the perfect marketing content. But really, we live in a world that's changing so fast that the faster that we iterate, the faster that we go out into the market, just output, even if it's bad at first. It's just the best thing that we can do right now. So just execute all the time.
and get the feedback from it and then
Yeah,
just
yeah. Like,
yeah,
what's the point of working in something for a whole year and then you ship it and nobody's interested in your product? It's like
pretty
what?
much.
Yeah,
So coming into the business, you guys implement AI, voice AI, chatbots, all kind of AI. What do you see that people actually get wrong from implementing AI into their business from the experience that you have with owners?
yeah. So I don't know if you want to see it from the sides of like companies or from the sides of like clients. But let's say
Oh,
from the sides of companies.
yeah.
I think that, and this is again because we're used to or we're indoctrined to think like we thought back in the day. And back in the day, it would be excellent to be great at one thing. So if you could be that company that's great at just creating chatbots, you're the go-to company. If you're great at just creating voice AI, then you're a go-to company. And there's a bunch of companies that are doing that and they have nothing wrong with it. I'm just thinking like, what happens if then Google comes and says like, okay, now we have the facility to build your own chatbot for your company without any significant cost. Boom, it's obsolete. So I think that the mentality has to change a little bit and transition into being great at a couple things, having a team that's great at a couple things. So I have a team that's great at, for example, databases. I have a team that's great at chatbots and voice AI, and have this different like niche groups within your company that allow you to become great at these multiple things. And then what happens is that instead of and this goes for clients as well. Instead of them asking only for a chatbot, we come in with a package of 5, 10 solutions, depending on really on like the budget that they have. We come with 5, 10 solutions that we can implement right away for them and really fulfill our vision and mission of becoming their strategic partners of AI, right? Because we don't only build you a chatbot, but we're going to build you a chatbot with retrieval augmented generation and machine learning, uh, C, and we're going to like segment all that information, all that data, which is king now, with specific agents just to help you understand your market better and help you take decisions with more precision and more accuracy to like understanding your market, right? Because clients sometimes they want a chatbot, but is a chatbot really necessary for your company? Is it like that's a question I always ask them. Like it's not always necessary.
Mhm.
So I think that getting them to reflect on what's really necessary is a fundamental part, and helping them understand that in this economy, what is king is data. If they have the data of their clients, they understand the data of their clients, and they can predict the data of their clients, they will for sure succeed in their industry.
And I think you're absolutely right about all those systems. It's like when you can just concentrate on, let's say, the chatbots, you can see AI moving so fast. It's like in the last year, just imagery of AI changed so much. Now ads can be made from AI like super fast. So it's like you're absolutely right where businesses can just Google, just say, hey, your chatbots are all done now. It's all AI that does it, and it costs like $5 a month, and it's like
Yeah, no.
that's like a kinda easy thing to implement into businesses, and I feel like even that you and I kinda know where the AI is going, the CEOs of business owners doesn't even know where it is yet. It's
Yeah,
like, they think it's only a chatbot that will bring in ROI, that will bring them, like,
yeah,
proper things, but it's like chatbot is so it's like 2-year old, 3-year old or something like that.
yeah.
There's so many more things, but they don't know about it because it's like it's moving so fast. They think that's still the big thing.
Exactly. Remember, like you are a CEO from a company, you're running your company. You have to make sure that you're running, but you don't have time to learn about this other technologies that are coming out. And you, because you lack that knowledge, you really can't form a team of that. So that's what we look to become as well. We look to become that partner, that a strategic partner really that has all these roles incorporated within it where you don't even have to build a team. You can just rely on REM, and REM is going to help you fulfill all those roles that you're going to need to implement into your company, if not today, tomorrow, and help you understand really what's important for your company and not just sell because sell. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know.
And do you think those CEOs or those business owners that you talk with are open-minded to other system when you bring them to it? Because they think of a simple chatbot and they're like kind of scared of AI because they don't really know how it works. And then you come in with like another workflow or another something else. Are they open-minded to try those new technologies, or it's always like kind of iffy on how it's gonna actually work for them?
Yeah. Questions. Look, I need to respond this, make sure that I don't offend no one here.
No worries.
I think that people are naturally driven by results. So if I can come in with a new technology and show them like, hey, this are the results I've gotten for previous X, Y, and Z, and I project that for your company, I'm going to create A, B, and C, then even if they're iffy, we can get them to see and visualize the impact that it's going to have for their company, really. Independent whether they believe in AI or they don't believe in AI, because trust me, more often than not, I have a phone call. Let's say I have the phone call with a CEO, but it's a family-owned business. So it's the CEO and then their dad or their mom is on top, and they like still take decisions in the company. And they're like, "Oh yeah, I know it's cool and everything, but my dad is really old-fashioned." It's like, honestly, give me 15, 20 minutes with them, and I'm sure that I'll get them to see you otherwise.
Hmm. And is that often like a clash, especially you mentioned in Latin American where it's not as much open as
Yeah.
here? Is that usually a clash where you kind of have to bring the new technology to an older generation mindset, or?
It's quite the opposite, honestly. It's ironic. I know. It's in Latin America, I found that people are really like interested in innovation, curious about innovation to say the least. Whereas when I've tried well, North America, be that USA or Canada, I've found that that same like the story of like, oh no, my dad is old fashioned, or we run the business in an old fashioned way, and it's like okay, like can I have 15 minutes with your dad? It's like, oh no, he doesn't really like that. So like, okay, sure. So that's why like I focus in Latin America because the people are looking forward to what's next and they want to be there for what's next. Obviously, again, this is people will be hesitant all the
Yeah.
time.
Always, yeah.
Yeah, all the time. But to me, at least, maybe it's because I'm from Latin America. You know, like maybe because of that. Maybe if I was from Montreal, I was Quebecois, maybe I would hit the market and we'd be aligned. And maybe if I was from New York and I talk with the New York firm, it's like, maybe it's because of that. I really don't know. Latin America has shown a lot of appreciation for us.
Maybe there's a positive about aiming at ICPs that are maybe slowly or slower in the technology, because the early adopters of the US and Canada, there's like an 80% of like AI project that failed from them. So now
Yeah.
they tried some project, they did some stuff, they haven't seen any ROI, any comeback from it. So they're just like, it's not working, like next. Instead of where you aim at like some culture that takes more time to get in, then all the tests is made in like US, Canada, then you can see what's actually working and bring the good thing to them and not just like try with them. So maybe there that's where the percentage kind of changed for the mentality. So how do you guys like make sure that your like systems bring in like proper results for those clients?
Yeah. So working with clients is really interesting, definitely. You learn how they think, and by learning how they think and understanding the way they think and approach these kind of topics, it really allows us to formulate an idea on how we can supply the results for them to see the value added, the return on investment, and measure that return on investment. Some of them are emotionally driven, some of them are results driven. So we have to, first of all, understand who you're dealing with. After you understand who you're dealing with, then you start preparing the reports and the KPIs based on how they will appreciate what you're doing for them and not feel like, no, you're just like, I'm just paying you monthly for nothing,
Yeah.
right? Because it's easy to like when you're not seeing something and you're just paying, it's like you're gonna start questioning it. So be close with your clients, be no, I wouldn't say friends with them, but have a good relationship with them where you can talk everything plain straight. And I feel that that's the easiest way to retain the clients, which again is probably the key to the game, the key to scaling is to avoid the churn. If you can avoid the churn, then you can scale massively, massively because you have a good foundation.
Hmm. So I think just coming back on the subject of you mentioned data was like a big thing now for AI, and I think that that's basically the words that's coming up now for AI. If your data is not good, then your AI is probably going to be not good either. So how do you bring that like data security and like ethic to those culture, and how do you actually help them understand that data is like is the thing and not just having the AI working for your business?
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, you don't want to like start inputting to AI all your health problems and like family problems, right? You keep that to yourself still.
Yeah.
Um, but what we try to teach them is like, well, first of all, we'll build an LLM specifically for them, not like we won't use like cloud LLMs, depending. Like, let's say this company, healthcare niche, will use a private LLM. We avoid using cloud because, again, we are handling sensitive information. And having your own, like, local LLM really allows you to handle sensitive data. And sometimes you might have a patient that comes in and tells you whatever might be happening in their health life. Um, and they feel confident in telling you that because they know that they're like talking with a business that cares about them, and the business is taking care of them by having a local LLM instead of a cloud LLM where you cannot really control where all the data goes. And that's really kind of like in to us specifically. And again, I'm poli sci, so I learned all about like Socrates and like all these like philosophers who would be very strict on virtues and morals and ethics, and it really translates all of that I learned translates to today's projects and clients, where we're moving forward, and as much as we can do local LLMs, I'll support local LLMs 10 times more than cloud, right? Even if it's a little bit slower, it'll guarantee that safety, it'll guarantee that your privacy is your privacy and there cannot be any infringements on it.
And do you always go towards the private LLM, or do you still use public LLM sometime depending on the project that they need?
Well, yeah, it depends. It depends. Imagine like if all the time I'm using local LLM, I would need to have like my own data center to run all this. Eventually, I'm not discarding that at all. Like eventually, I'll build one and we'll have our own LLM running there. But for now, yeah, sometimes you just have to use ChatGPT, GPT, whatever. Or honestly, I'm a Google guy, so I'll go with Gemini all the time. But yeah, like it really depends on the projects, depends on the niche or the industry that you're working on. Right now, for example, we have one in security, one in healthcare, and those I feel are two niches where information is very delicate.
Mm,
And you receive information from clients, from their clients. They receive information from their clients, and I don't want to run the risk of that getting leaked anywhere, and that being something that may harm either their clients or my clients.
yeah. In those situations, would you, because that kind of sound more of like a cybersecurity kind of job, or maybe even a cloud
Yeah.
management job. So in those kind of like uh, clients or systems, do you partner up with cybersecurity firm to bring that, or do you guys do all of that yourself, or how does that kind of work?
Yeah, no, good question. We do that all ourselves. Like honestly, like the more you can do yourself and the less you outsource, the more hold of privacy you have, and I'm really big on privacy, so and proprietorship, right? I don't want to run the risk that I outsource this to you and then you kind of mess it up and that backlashes on me. Like I want to avoid that by all means. So if that means we have to invest into talent and human talent that's really good at cybersecurity, we're going to do so, and I feel that that's exactly what we're doing today.
Hmm, that's great. So for the culture that you're in, where Latin America, what kind of like system are they asking more? Is it more of like voice? Is it more of like chatbot, like you mentioned? Is that what kind of system that is it more popular for those kind of businesses?
Yeah. So it really is going to depend on the industry, right? Depends on the industry that you're going to go. But the majority of them are, yes, chatbots. As we mentioned before, like that's what people really know about.
Huh.
And we could just go with chatbots and tell them chatbots, yeah, I'll build one for you. But the idea is I'll build you a chatbot, but within that chatbot, we'll also add this specific agent, one for marketing and one for supply chain, where if you have a database of 140,000 products and you have 30,000 leads a month, what are those 30,000 leads asking for? Out of those 140,000 products that you have in inventory, is it necessary to have all of them? Is it necessary to keep on purchasing at the same rate that you've been purchasing for the past 10 years? Can you become more intelligent than that? So that's what we do. We do. I won't only go for a chatbot, even if they just want a chatbot. I'll make sure that they understand why it's necessary and vital for them to have these other types of agents dedicated to understanding their data. And again, we come back, even if they want a chatbot, our goal is data, and then we help them understand that.
I'm so surprised to hear that, because like in my mind, like chatbot was like an old thing now. Like I thought people like didn't want that, and like everyone had one, and it's like just move on to like something else. So
Yeah,
I'm really surprised that that's like one of the big demand of Latin America. Maybe because we're
yeah,
in the States, it's like more advanced, so chatbot
for sure, for
has
sure.
it.
Yeah, like it also put into perspective that, well, really here, the chatbots that you've seen in North America, they're website chatbots. Whereas in Latin America, it's completely the opposite. The website is again just like LinkedIn, just like a status, as I was mentioning. It's kind of status. People don't really use it. What people use every single day is WhatsApp, but to an absurd amount. WhatsApp is that's where your clients live. So you have to build the AI infrastructure around WhatsApp and connect it with Meta and all that. Whereas here you don't quite do that. A chatbot here is like, oh, what for my website? It's gonna help me one, two, done. Whereas in WhatsApp, it's the whole customer journey.
Huh. It's more of like a customer agent at that time where it's actually bringing your client to when you onboard them or pretty much everything that they kind of need for from your business.
Yeah,
Huh,
pretty much.
I never thought about that angle of it.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
And that's the whole Latin America, right? WhatsApp is like the biggest thing in Latin America. If I'm not mistaken, we're probably one of like the biggest ethnicity that uses WhatsApp out of the whole world. I think India is our competitor.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's so surprising because like Canada and like US, we just don't use that. And then you go to like Europe and you go anywhere else, and it's like everyone's used that. So it's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know. They
Like you guys are big on iMessages. It's like most of the time, or well, not most of the time, but when I ask for someone's like contact, like, hey, let's share contacts, it's like, oh yeah, text me through iMessage. I'm like, sure, like yeah, I'll
or,
text
or
you through
or they give you
iMessage.
their Instagram or something.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly. People here are, I think, it's a different wave. It's a different wave here.
Yeah. So coming back to the business, what have been working well for you guys in the last year or even right now?
Okay. Simple. Data. Data has been working well. We understand the customer's data. We understand and we can translate that to our client and translate it into actionable steps that this is going to sound maybe a bit ambitious, but puts us into perspective with Deloitte or EY. Like, that's what we're trying to compete against, right? Be just that with AI first. Instead of having thousands of people, if we can optimize our workflow with AI, then we can probably assure a big win and translate that win to our clients.
Hmm. That's nice. And it's like actually you just mentioned like a lot of like employees and stuff like that, but now businesses can have like 5 employees with some AI with them, and they can actually do the job like as good or even better.
Yes, and I that's one of my biggest concerns, honestly, with AI, because and again, why I'm so invested into like ethics and integrating it with purposefully, and because I think that coming back to one of the questions, like, what's one of the biggest bottlenecks with clients is like they want you to build an AI for them, be that a chatbot or voice AI that's going to replace thousands of people overnight. And that really isn't the case. It cannot be, we cannot allow that to be the case in our society because we are humans. We must care for humans first before deciding to replace them overnight like this, right? So that's why I always sit down with them. I educate them on these roles and why it's necessary to keep people. Obviously, like every revolution that we had in history, people are going to be displaced.
Yeah.
But before they're displaced, let's make sure that what we're revolutionizing in is a good fit for you and is going to make sense, right? You just don't want to like fire people because I've had a client that was like an interesting attitude and he displaced a lot of people like overnight.
Hmm.
And obviously, when I heard that, it's kind of tough, honestly, because it's because of us, because of our technology, our solutions that we're implementing into this company, people
Hmm.
lost their jobs. And
Hmm.
that really got to me at that point in time, got to me. And that's where like I started taking decisions on educating them on more on like these roles that you're going to need, right? Because if someone's going to leave the job, you're going to need to hire more people for this other type of roles that are going to naturally come up with AI. And yeah,
Hmm. So are you trying to come up with more with like education base where they actually can educate those employees to use the system that you guys implement at
yes,
that point instead of
yes,
actually just like you said, just put the system there and then they can fire people
yeah, yeah.
and replace it.
So this is like something that we do almost like for no cost, just precisely to educate the sales reps on how to use AI well. What we do is we'll build you the chat. If you say you're a client, you tell me you want a chatbot, I'll build you the chatbot. But in the timeline that I'm building the chatbot, usually projects, depending on the how big your infrastructure is, they can go from 3 to 6 months. Within that timeline, what I'll do is I'll build an LLM, local LLM, just for your team, so that as they are selling, they can talk with an LLM and have the LLMs help. So, like, again, if you have 140,000 products and in stock, you're gonna, as a human, you cannot memorize 140,000 different products that you have. You can't. And if you look for them manually in your inventory, it's gonna be too long. You're gonna lose the sale, and or if you don't lose it, then another sale is gonna come in. So you then have to follow up. It becomes such a mess that what we do is build this local LLM that has access to your whole inventory. Talk with it. Hey, I have a client that's looking for this. Scours your whole inventory, outputs the best three solutions, best three products for you, pass them on to your client as we're building. And even when we finish building and we go live into production to the whole world, we still have the LLM locally running for them so that
Hmm.
the sales reps can always have that help and can, let's say, be learning parallel to our AI working in the market.
Hmm. And what was the system that brought those people to get fired? What was the system that you guys implemented in that business?
So it was again a chatbot, but we really did a bunch. We did a chatbot, we did the CRM for them, and we did the whole database. So we did a lot of the things that they were doing manually, all connected with AI. So no need, they were doing it literally by paper, what was in stock, what was not in stock. They were doing kind of keeping track of who the clients that are coming into your pipeline are, kind of doing it. But obviously, it's so hard to follow up with thousands of leads each month. So we did that all automatically. And well, naturally, like there's a bunch of people then that you're like, where do you go exactly? And then that made us, that after I saw that decision being taken, that made us then start building the local LLMs to help all the reps become more intelligent and better at selling as well.
Hmm. Makes sense. So what are the challenges now of the business that you guys got into or are facing right now
For our business, or you mean
for
for
your
like
business?
implement mine?
Yeah.
Uh, I think that, well, there's honestly multiple challenges. I think that account managers are more needed than you would think so. Like at first, I didn't really think I needed the account managers as much as I do now, but you really do. And if you want to retain clients, you out to have a good account manager and a good continuous integration and continuous development team as well, working constantly optimizing. Because again, if we're still not at a point where we have thousands of clients, each client matters to us, right? So I need to them to be happy. I need to optimize our workflows constantly. So that's those are two big challenges. Having the right people for that. It's not an easy find. It's a hard fit. And the second one is marketing, man. I'm telling you, like I'm thinking here. I'm sitting down with the team, like marketing. What should we do? They're like, my CMO was like telling me like, oh, you out to be doing like TikToks. I mean, like you like she gets on me and she's like, you have to do this. You have to do this. I'm like, really hesitant about it. Um, because I'm like, oh no, let's do like AI marketing and really figuring out what the right type of marketing for our type of company, which is a B2B, is kind of hard, kind of like figure it out. What exactly do we output into the market? I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we have right now, but we for sure are tackling it and moving forward with it.
That I feel like that's a big a big challenge that a lot of people have. It's like you tried things and it doesn't work at first, and then you're like, God damn, I have to try something else. And then like you just mentioned B2B, there's like 4 ways to do it. So it's like if you tried like 3, you're like, what else do I do now? It's like you have to go back, you have to stuck at it, you have to try it again, and then it's always like a pattern of like failing, and then you're like, oh, now it's working for that amount.
Yeah.
But I totally understand that. Your goal for the next 6 to 12 months regarding those challenges, what does it look like? What does the vision look like for the business?
So obviously keep on scaling clients, become experts at specific industries, so finance, healthcare, security, energy, retail, to say a few. And as we become experts in that, that really allows me to start fulfilling my personal mission, which is to democratize artificial intelligence in Honduras and provide artificial intelligence to the whole country. Um, help my government understand AI and implement it, integrate it into our society morally, ethically, and correct. Um, I think that with marketing, we're going to do something really cool. We're going to do a little school where anyone, really anyone in the market, and that can be even the whole world, um, they can learn from us how to build simple automations, workflows, such as simple chatbot. Obviously, for scale, you really do need to know code, but for simple one, you can do that for sure with us. And then we're gonna push as well, teaching people how to do AI marketing videos and just really impulse people to create their own like AI agency. I really want to see that's my goal. For the next 12 months, my goal is to have more people in Honduras and Latin America create their own agencies, AI agencies, and create that kind of supply in the market.
Hmm. So it's really more of a B2C, but B2P wise, is there a vision that you're aiming at, like 5 more clients, or you mentioned the more government,
Oh,
so more clients into that are related to that government that could help them? Because you mentioned healthcare, you mentioned security. What kind of B2B challenges do you have in mind too?
okay. Well, I think that the challenge is to get the first client of each of these industries that we're interested. Like, for example, right now we have no client in the finance sector. So getting a client in the finance sector, the first one is going to be hard. That's going to be hard for sure. But once we do get that client, we can replicate what we did for A with B and upsell what we did for to B with A and so on. But it then becomes a chain. That would be, let's say, my my biggest challenge right now. And then in terms of again B2B, retaining clients, man. I'm telling you, Max, that's probably the hardest and most manual thing that we still have to do within our system, right? Because you need it's human relationships, so you need to have a good account manager that understands your client and has a good relationship with him or her. Um, that really allows us to keep on scaling as we want. But if we start losing clients and our churn becomes big,
Yeah,
then yeah, that would be a challenge for
that's
sure.
that's another problem for that time.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge if we get there.
Yeah. Perfect, Marcelo. So for listeners who want maybe to like reach you or be in contact with Rem AI, where could they go or connect with you?
Sure. So they can either go to my LinkedIn, Marcelo Diaz. You can find me there, chilling and vibing in LinkedIn. And from there, you can also go to remaiconsulting.com. You can find our website. You can book a strategic meeting with us. It'll be 15-minute call, see what's going on with your business or your personal brand. And yeah, check it out.
Perfect. Thanks again, Marcelo. It was a great
Thank you, man.
conversation.
It's been a pleasure and it's been fun. Appreciate it.
There you go.
Take care, Max, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.